The sleek black helicopter sliced through the evening sky like a shadow, its rotors whispering secrets to the wind. Alexander Harrington, the self-made billionaire whose tech empire spanned continents, hadn't set foot in his childhood home in 5 years. Not since the day he'd stormed out, vowing never to return to the dusty estate that reminded him too much of failure, of his father's endless disappointments and the poverty that had clawed at their lives. But tonight, urgency pulled him back unannounced. A cryptic voicemail from the family doctor: "Your father's condition is worsening. Come soon." Alex had cancelled meetings, hopped on his private chopper, and now, as the pilot sat down on the sprawling lawn, he braced for the confrontation he'd avoided for so long. He slipped through the side door quietly, the house's familiar creaks greeting him like old ghosts. The grand foyer, with its marble floors and crystal chandeliers, felt smaller now, swallowed by memories. Alex moved toward the living room, drawn by soft voices and the faint strum of a guitar. What he saw through the cracked door stopped him cold, his blood turning to ice. There, in the dim glow of a single lamp, sat his father, Elias Harrington, frail, silver-haired, and hooked to an oxygen tank that hissed rhythmically like a dying metronome. But it wasn't Elias's weakened state that froze Alex. It was Maria, the maid who'd worked for the family for over a decade, perched on the arm of his father's chair. She wasn't dusting or folding laundry. No, she was cradling Elias's hand in hers, her fingers intertwined with his weathered ones, while she sang softly in Spanish, a lullaby that echoed with tenderness. Elias's eyes, usually clouded with bitterness, sparkled with a joy Alex hadn't seen since his mother was alive. Maria leaned in, brushing a stray hair from his forehead, and Elias whispered something that made her laugh, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. Alex's world tilted. What the hell was this? Betrayal, exploitation. His mind raced to the worst. Was she after the family fortune? Taking advantage of a lonely old man? Rage bubbled up, hot and familiar, the same fire that had fueled his rise from rags to riches. He burst through the door, his voice thundering, "What is going on here?" Maria jumped, her dark eyes widening in shock. Elias turned slowly, his face paling further. "Alex, son, you're home." But Alex's gaze was locked on Maria. "Get away from him, now." The room fell silent, save for the oxygen tank's mechanical breath. Maria stood, her simple uniform rumpled, hands clasped in front of her like a shield. "Mr. Harrington, save it," Alex snapped, his phone already in hand, dialing security. "You've got 5 minutes to pack your things and leave before I call the police." Elias's voice, weak but firm, cut through. "Alexander, stop, you don't understand." "Oh, I understand plenty," Alex retorted, his chest tight. "I've been sending checks every month to keep this place running, to hire help so you wouldn't be alone. And this is what I come back to. Some affair." Maria's face crumpled, tears welling. "It's not what you think." "Then explain," Alex demanded, his voice cracking despite himself. He hadn't expected the hurt, the raw, unexpected pain of seeing his father vulnerable, happy even, with someone else. Elias raised a trembling hand. "Sit down, son, please, before you destroy what's left of this family." Reluctantly, Alex sank into the opposite armchair, his tailored suit feeling like armor against the vulnerability flooding the room. Elias took a labored breath, the oxygen mask fogging slightly. "Maria isn't just the maid. She's been my everything since you left." Alex's stomach dropped. "What?" Elias glanced at Maria, who nodded encouragingly, wiping her eyes. "It started small," Elias began, his voice raspy from years of smoking and regret. "After your mother died, God, that was 20 years ago now, you were just a boy, angry at the world, at me for not being able to provide. I worked 2 jobs, but it was never enough. You built your empire to escape that, and I get it. But when you left for good, after that fight, I was alone." The house echoed. "My health failed, heart issues, then the lungs. The doctor said I needed full-time care." Maria interjected softly, her accent warm like sun-baked earth. "I came here 10 years ago, from Mexico, sending money back to my family. At first, it was just cleaning, cooking. But Mr. Elias, he was so kind. He'd ask about my day, my children back home. No one had done that since my husband passed." Alex leaned forward, piecing it together. "So you, took advantage?" "No," Elias said sharply. "She saved me. When the loneliness hit hardest, Maria was there. Not as a maid, but as a friend. We'd talk for hours, about life, regrets. She taught me Spanish phrases, cooked meals from her village. And one day, it became more. Love, Alex. Real love, the kind I thought I'd lost forever. Maria nodded, her voice steady now. I love your father, not for money, I have my own pride. But because he sees me, truly sees me. Not as, the help, but as Maria. Alex's mind reeled. Flashbacks assaulted him. His father's stern lectures about hard work, the arguments over Alex's foolish dreams of coding in the garage instead of getting a real job. The day Alex sold his first app for millions and threw it in Elias's face. See? I don't need you. He'd built walls of wealth, jet-setting between boardrooms and penthouses, dating models who saw him as a trophy. But deep down, the boy who craved his father's approval still lingered. Why didn't you tell me? Alex whispered, his anger deflating into something heavier, guilt. Elias sighed. You were gone, son. Building your life. I didn't want to burden you. And truthfully, I was afraid. Afraid you'd judge, like you always did. The words stung, a mirror to Alex's own flaws. He thought of the empty holidays, the unanswered calls. He'd assumed Elias was fine, sustained by the monthly wire transfers. But money couldn't buy companionship, couldn't mend the fractures time had widened. Maria stepped closer, her eyes pleading. Please, Mr. Harrington, your father needs peace now. The doctor says, not much time left. Alex's throat tightened. How long? A few months, maybe, Elias said quietly. Cancer in the lungs, spreading. The revelation hit like a tidal wave. Alex buried his face in his hands, the weight of lost years crashing down. Dad, I'm sorry. For everything. Elias reached out, his hand frail but warm on Alex's knee. I know, son, I was hard on you. Pushed you away too. But life isn't about empires, it's about moments like this. That night stretched into dawn as they talked. Really talked, for the first time in decades. Maria shared stories of her life. Crossing the border with dreams of a better future, raising 2 kids on meager wages, finding solace in Elias's quiet strength. Alex opened up about the hollowness of success, the boardrooms that echoed with isolation, the fear that he'd become just like his father, distant, unyielding. But challenges loomed. The next day, Alex discovered the estate's finances were in shambles. Elias had hidden mounting medical bills, pride preventing him from asking for more help. I didn't want to be a charity case, Elias admitted over breakfast, Maria fussing over his plate like a guardian angel. Alex rolled up his sleeves, literally, shedding his suit jacket for the first time in years. We'll fix this, together, he called in favors, arranging top specialists, but more importantly, he stayed. Days turned to weeks. He worked remotely from the study, the room where he'd once tinkered with his first computer. Maria taught him to cook simple meals, her laughter filling the house as he bungled chopping onions. Elias shared old photo albums, tales of Alex's mother, how she dreamed of a close-knit family. Yet tension simmered. One evening, as Elias napped, Alex confronted Maria in the kitchen. What if this is all an act? I've seen people pretend for less. Her eyes flashed with hurt. You think love is a transaction? Like your deals. I've cleaned this house for years, watched you come and go like a ghost. Your father deserves better than suspicion. Shame washed over him. I'm sorry. It's just hard to trust. Trust starts with trying, she replied gently. Like how I trusted Elias when he offered me a home here, not just a job. The turning point came during a storm that rattled the old estate. Elias's condition worsened suddenly, shortness of breath, pain gripping his chest. Alex panicked, but Maria remained calm, guiding him through the emergency protocols. As they waited for the ambulance, Elias clutched both their hands. Promise me, you'll take care of each other. In the hospital, doctors stabilized him, but the scare shattered Alex's remaining defenses. He realized his empire meant nothing without roots. Back home, he proposed a radical change. He'd relocate his company's headquarters nearby, commit to weekly visits even after. And to Maria, stay, not as the maid, but as family. Tears streamed down her face. I already am. Months passed in a blur of quiet joys. Elias's health ebbed, but his spirit soared. They celebrated small victories, a garden Maria planted, blooming with vibrant flowers, family dinners where laughter drowned out the oxygen tank's hum. Alex reconnected with his own humanity, mentoring local kids in coding, funding community programs. Wealth, he learned, was a tool, not a shield. On a crisp autumn day, Elias passed peacefully in his sleep, Maria and Alex by his side. The funeral was intimate, filled with stories of redemption. In his will, Elias left the estate to both, a symbol of unity. Alex stood at the graveside, Maria's hand in his, not romantically, but as siblings forged in loss. He taught me that true wealth is in the hearts we touch, Alex said softly. Maria smiled through tears, and in the love we give freely. From that day, Alex transformed. His company thrived, but so did he, building bridges instead of walls, cherishing connections over conquests. The boy who'd fled poverty returned a man enriched by love's quiet power. In the end, it's not the billions that define us, but the moments we share, the forgiveness we offer, and the family we choose. Life's greatest fortune, it's right there, in the warmth of a held hand.